Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So in this moment, let us all together close our eyes, open our hearts and mind, breathe deeply, and let's welcome our divine Heavenly Father, our beloved Jesus Christ, our divine Mother, our spiritual mentors and individual friends, spiritual friends, and let's reconnect with each other in this moment, in our higher selves and in our higher levels, embracing our Mother Earth with such a gratitude and love for the opportunity that the Mother Earth gives to us to be here together. Let's we feel love come out of our heart and embrace our Mother Earth with such a love and gratitude for the opportunity to be here on the earth. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you so very much for being so kind and generous with all of us. Please forgive us. And may you be blessed with all the goodness, with all the happiness and the progress in all levels. Beloved Jesus Christ, we thank you so very much for allowing us to be here united and reunited in your name. As you said, Jesus, if you love me, you keep my words. And so we are here meeting, gathering around your commandments together. We ask for your blessings, for your guidance, for your love, and especially to your beloved sister, Kiki. May she be blessed with the spirit of love, wisdom, and truth. And may all of us be open to receive the seeds of light that she are ready to sow into our soul today. With such a gratitude, respect, and love, we are open our healing service on this beautiful sunny day here on the earth. And so be it, and so it is.
And so it is.
So be it. Thank you so much, Tanya. Our hearts are wide open, and so are our minds. We gather here every Sunday to learn and to expand our knowledge. Emmanuel speaks about strengthening two wings to ascend, our two wings to ascend to God. And one of those wings is expanding our knowledge, our wisdom. That's studying, learning new concepts. And the other wing is that of love and that of service. That's putting everything we've studied into practice. And that is why we're gathering. Our first part will be a lecture by Kiki, and we'll talk about that in a second. And the second part, it will be a healing that we receive. So we have our Sunday, we have a lot of classes, and I don't have a script, so I'm totally relying on you guys chiming in and supporting me and running through them. So I start consecutively through the week. So Sundays from 10 to about 11:30, we have our meeting, which we have now. And then every day at 6 p.m., except for Sundays and, except for Sundays and Saturdays, at 6 p.m., we gather for a prayer here on Zoom. That's for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it helps us to connect with each other and, of course, with God, and the spirits on high. And then on Saturdays, our prayer is at 11:30 a.m. And Sundays, we have our gathering. So that's about the prayer. Then on Tuesdays, we have Divine Light Spiritist Group meeting, which is actually out of Nevada City, but we are online right now. So we have a lot of overlap. We work together with BSH. We're one happy family. That's what the key is. The meeting, Divine Light meeting, which is a different Zoom link, is from 6:30 to 8. And we do inner transformation workshops every first and third Tuesday of the month. And the other Tuesdays, we have lectures primarily based on the book Jesus in the Home. And you also receive healing passes. And we also, if we have time, we study the Spirit's book, The Moral Laws. On Wednesdays, we have spiritual counseling. That means if you have something on your heart or mind that you would like to air out and have one of our counselors talk to you, everything is free of charge, of course. Please feel free to connect with us. Just send us an email or text, and we will be available. And that is, Kiki, between what, 5 and 7?
Between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay. 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then on Thursdays, we have our study group with our sister Duska out of Brazil, actually also on Zoom. And that is based on the Spirit's book. The Spirit's book consists of 1,019 questions that Alan Kardec, the codifier of Spiritism, asked the spirits on high and compiled the answers from on high for us to learn, to understand where we come from, why we're here, and where we're going. And so that's Thursday. And Thursday after, that's from 6:30 to 7:30 with Duska, an hour study. And at 7:30, we meet for the study of Happy Life, which is a little book that's written by the Spirit, Joanna G. Angelis. And we do one chapter each time, prayer, a little chapter, discussion. It's very beautiful. We become happier as a result. And then on Fridays, what do we have on Fridays? Nothing.
We don't have any more. Yeah, not
Okay,
now.
that expired.
We'll resume.
Okay. And the same on Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Then before this meeting, every first and second,
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth. I'm sorry, I don't have a script. Every second and fourth Sunday from 8:30 to 9:30. It's Brian, and it's Spiritism in the Youth. So he's a gathering for the youth to join and learn about the good news, the consoling messages. Did I cover it all, Kiki?
Perfectly, everything. Thank you, sister.
Now we're turning to you, dear sister. Kiki Feresin is gifting us today with her enlightening talk, and it is entitled 5 Steps for a Productive, Happy Life. And I want to introduce our sister for a moment. So Kiki is blessed to have been raised in a Spiritist family that taught her the study of the gospel since she was a little girl. While working on her inner transformation, Kiki seeks opportunities to serve and to put into action lessons taught by Jesus and the good spirits. Her mantra is accept with gratitude, believe with conscience, work with love. Gives me chills. Kiki is a member of the Beseja Spiritual Healing Center and the secretary of the BSH Board of Directors. Help me please to welcome Kiki warmly to our talk. Thank you, Kiki, for being the one today.
Thank you, sister. Well, good morning, everybody. It's always a pleasure to share the studies and the learnings. We are always learning. Every time that we read the same things over and over, they prompt us with different ways of thinking and with different perspectives. So hopefully you should be able to see my screen by now. You can? All right. So today I would like to talk about, it's kind of embracing most of the things that we are seeing on the Spiritism, but it's in a very simple way. And this was interesting because it was showing how easy it is for us to have a productive and a happy life according to us. So we know that we are co-creators with God, with regards to our life, but we know that a portion of this is coming from God, which we don't necessarily control. But the other big portion of that is what we do about that, right? And this is what we will be what we will be discussing today. What is our role and what is the responsibility that we take for us to go to our life. So I always recommend that we have a piece of paper and a pen for you to write down those the messages, because we know that the mentors are already working with us. So many times we are prompted for us to keep reflecting on the messages. So if you don't have, you will see that at some point I will ask for you to bring, because I think it's going to be important for our exercise moving forward. But when we think about having a productive life, what does it mean, right? Like what is productive? And when we start thinking about why are we even incarnated? On the question 132 on the Spirit's book, when Allan Kardec asks, what is the purpose of the Spirit incarnation? And then the answer is, God imposes incarnation as a tool to reach perfection. For some, it is means of making amends, while others, it's a mission. So this is already showing us that we are here towards our goal of perfection. So meaning we are here for us to perfect our moral values, our development. And the other one is going to be like for us to accomplish a mission, which is even harder, right? Because you have to be the example every single time. So this is already telling us that we are here on earth with a very specific purpose, for us to be better. And this is a very individual thing, right? Because when I say for me to be a better person, this is still too fluffy. What does it mean, right? I can be better in one thing, but I can't be worse in another thing. So the suggestion here, the invitation here, is for us to reflect at least this one little thing. What is this one thing that I know that I need to work with? And then I will find means for us to perfect that moral thing. If we are able to do more, then let's do it. But we have to be very pragmatic about that. Let us do a list. Let us understand which are the situations that are prompting us to find our not so best, not so good, I would say, version about that thing. And then we can keep working. And we know that this requires a lot of discipline on our end, right? When Jesus said, blessed are the afflicted, for they shall be consoled, he is already telling us that those afflictions of today are the bliss of tomorrow. But we shouldn't be thinking about this as a punishment, because it's not. We are talking about a loving God that is really giving us the means for us to perfect those morals. And if there is still something that is hurting on us, it's because that is the point that we are still not getting. But again, what mission are we talking about, right? We go back to the moral development. We go back to our values. We go back to our beliefs. In the chapter 17 of the gospel, chapter Be Perfect, we learn that truly moral persons are those who practice in its greatest purity the law of justice, love, and charity. The greatest purity. Look how important it is that we understand what does it mean in its greatest purity to practice the law of love, justice, and charity. This means that we have to go further. This means that if we are already happy with what we are doing, this is an invitation for us to go further. This is an invitation for us to get out of our comfort zone. And this hurts. It's not easy for us to go out of our comfort zone. because this means that we will have to fight back against our own primitive instincts. Because again, we are here for us to evolve. And this requires a lot of work. This requires a lot of reflection. And this requires constant remind and exercise. This week, someone asked me a very an amazing question. Why do we have to progress? You know, I don't kill anyone. I work. I am charitable every time that the opportunity arises. I always adopt someone to take care during Christmas. I mean, I'm fine. Why do I have to progress? Because progress is an inherent law of love. Love is always seeking for the best. Therefore, progressing is a consequence of God's unconditional love to all of us. And when I heard that answer, it prompted me to think and to reflect a little bit. If I feel like I'm already doing good, does it mean that that is not enough? Does it mean that I still have too much more to progress? Does it mean that I still have to? And then yes. It's not that it's not enough for us to be the mainstream, because it's not only about us. The better we get as individuals, the best servants we will be for our brothers and sisters. And even though one can feel that you are already in a good spot with God, there are so many brothers and sisters who are in need of our time, of our wisdom, of our smile. So the invitation here is for us to think, how can we do a little bit more out of all the moral development that we have to do? And then for that, I would like to, so I will go, as we will go over those 5 steps that I mentioned to you, I would like us to do a little exercise. So as I mentioned to you guys, please go grab a piece of paper and a pen. I will give you, I don't know, 20 seconds for you to find a paper and a pen. Right, we already have some people here with pen. We're good. Awesome. Okay. And the only reason why I'm asking that is because every time that we voice over or every time that we write down things, it gets easier for us to organize our thinking. So this is only to make things simple for us. So I will kindly ask for you to write down in your piece of paper 1 or 2 problems, not more than that. I know that sometimes we have a list, but we will do this exercise later. The idea is that we just can go over the framework that the mentors proposed to us. But write down 1 or 2 problems that you would like that they are solved. And I will give you 1 minute for you to think about that, if that's okay. So reflect on your problem and write down 1 or 2. Okay. So now I would like you to write beside it. I would like you to just complete if this was a problem, if this is a problem that you can solve yourself, or if was, sorry, I will go back. If this problem was caused by God, meaning you cannot control, or if this is something that you can control at some level, even if it's just for some level, you can control at least how you react to that. So think about that and put right beside if you can control or if you can't control this problem, this situation. All right. So we are going to use now, each one of us are going to use our own examples for us to apply those 5 steps that we are invited to think about. So I will talk about this and then we will keep the exercise, okay? So keep your paper with you. The first step, gratitude. So it is proven in so many different ways and study the benefits that being grateful brings to our body. And it's not only because of the gratitude, because we know that the gratitude is a state of mind, is the positive attitude that will bring towards you any situation, regardless of the situation that it is. Emmanuel, in the book Thought and Life, chapter number 1, tells us that the mind stands as the mirror of life in all places. So let us think a little bit about what is the level of thankfulness, or the thanksgiving, I'm sorry, better saying, that we apply on our life. There is the shallow gratitude that we have. You know, we are grateful for our life. We are grateful for the air that we breathe, especially in this pandemic where people are suffering because they can't breathe, right? So we have that level of gratitude. But the invitation here is to think about the gratitude, about the things that are not so pleasant to us. Because it's really what is the positive eyes that we are using behind everything that we are seeing. Also, being grateful enable us to be more humble, because we understand that we are not 100% responsible, but about everything, for the good and for the bad. Because most of the time, when something is really good, what happens? We just get so prideful about what we did, right? And we say, oh my gosh, I was so smart. Oh my gosh, I was so kind with that person that was in need. And then we just forget that we are just a piece of everything. And then we get prideful. And we know pride and vanity are the root cause of most of the problems on earth. Said by the spirits on high. It's not said by Chris, by Kiki. So Jesus, on the chapter "Blessed are the pure in spirit," is inviting us to think about how important it is that we keep our heart pure. And when we say here pure, is outside of this pridefulness. And then a spirit mentor says, pride is the terrible adversary of humility. And that's why it is so important that we practice being grateful for these 2 pieces. One, because it enables us to exercise the positive point of view about everything. And as we are positive, we emit and attract positive thoughts, positive things for whatever situation we are. And then the second thing is it's constantly reminding us how important it is for us to be humble. It is constantly reminding us that we are a piece of the puzzle and we have a huge responsibility on that. But yet, we are just a piece. So thinking about how important it is for us to be grateful, and thinking how much is important for us to be humble. Let us keep on our exercise. So now I would like to invite you to write down 3 positive things that these 2 problems that you wrote are bringing to you or to others. Because again, if we go back to the purpose of our life, it's not only about us as individual, but our improvement is also good. It impacts for a collective good, right? So sometimes we are going through a situation that is not necessarily doing good for us directly, but it's bringing good for the environment. So I'll give you 1 more minute for you to think about 3 positive things that these 2 problems are bringing to you and others. And then you write down these 3 positive things. All right. So hopefully you were able to identify um, at least 3, if not more. So this is number 1. For us to work the positive point of view of everything that we are doing, especially with whatever situation is prompting us a certain imbalance in our life. Number 2, I bet most of you already know, but patience. Patience, friends. And along the study that we had this week, patience came so many times. That was so interesting. I was telling that the mentors were doing some spoil during the week because we were hearing so much. And patience is really what will enable us to accept with gratitude the situation and then the people that life brings to us. Is still holding us humble enough again to remind us that we co-create life with God. A mentor this week told us for us to always be prepared to support those that they work for us to meet. So we know that we do not meet people by chance. We are all attracting each other, and we can always be supportive one to another. But it's easy for us to be patient with friends like here because we are all in a good vibration. We are not stepping in anyone's toes. We are here thinking about that patience that really takes us out of the nerve, either on the traffic or in the store or in work or family, or even something that we are just waiting from God and we do not have control on that. If we lose our patience, we are not serene anymore. And without serenity, we are not able even to hear what the mentors are trying to tell us. So when we are able to keep our patience, we are able to keep our inner peace. My mom told me since very little, nobody was given the power to get my happiness out. I don't even know how to say that in English, but like to get rid of my happiness, as well as my inner peace. That's mine. Nobody should have that power. If that's happening, I am empowering someone else to do something to my inner peace. Joana de Angelis, in the book Happy Life, told us that patience will help us overcome everything. Everything. Isn't that amazing? I also have here a note. I will show you guys. I have here a post-it. With patience, you will be able to cope in any situation. It's the same chapter. It's here. And then when my boss just gets crazy, I just read this and I go, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One thing that I learned from Chico Xavier, and everybody that knows me already know how much I do this. When we see that we are losing our patience for whatever reason, drink water, but don't swallow it. Keep it in your mouth. That is really good because that enables you, one, to shut up. You don't say anything that you want that you will regret. It enables you to breathe. And when we breathe, we are able to control our heartbeat. We will be able to get our serenity back. And when we are serene, we are able to connect our thoughts to the mentors, and they are able to better assist us. But this is something that we do. So no mentor is going to be able to support us if we do not do our part. Even this week, I was reading in the book that it's going to be translated in The Way to the Road of Regeneration. They were describing that they were in this city that was in so much need, so many people in pain. And then one mentor, she was throwing as if cords for people to get out of the mud of their own thoughts. Those that were not really willing to change, they couldn't hold strong enough to the cord, but the cord was there, as if like someone is giving us the hand, but we are so in a rush, we are so not understanding, we are so mad with something that we cannot even see that there is a hand standing trying to help us. So patience is part of our work. And for us to get there, it's important that we control our emotions. That's why it is so important that we understand how to be emotionally intelligent. So then we can manipulate our emotions in our favor. I'm not saying that we have to ignore our emotions. Absolutely not. We need to understand what they are telling us. So if my emotion is a symptom, as if I cough, if I have a cold, I am impatient if, and then we understand the root cause. If I am prideful enough to be willing that thing right now, or if I am being too proud to want that person to say that thing, not how he or she said, but the way that I was expecting. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at the root cause that is prompting us to be impatient, that is prompting us not to have our inner peace, it's a symptom of our morals that needs to be worked. Emmanuel once said that where there is patience, the evil cannot get in. Look how powerful it is. Look how powerful it is. Where there is patience, the evil cannot come in. The other big thing that we should also think about patience, and this we can find in the blessed are the meek and the peace loving in the gospel according to Spiritism. Patience is too a form of charity. So if we are looking for means for us to be charitable, how can we be more patient? Knowing that patience helps us to overcome everything. Knowing that patience is kind of a bridge between us and our mentors. Knowing that patience is also what enables us to be charitable, almost doing nothing, just by respecting. We are just respecting the other when we are patient. Emmanuel also said, let me see if I remember, love is the silent hope of heaven, awaiting the improvement of all morals, while awaiting the awakening of all conscience. It's the silent hope. So it is not up to us to make this or that person to be better. Those type of things we do by example. It's not up to us for us to preach. Dr. Bezerra or St. Francis of Assisi said, preach the gospel all the time, but use words only when necessary. Isn't that amazing? Preach the gospel all the time, but use words only when necessary. So what is this? This is an invitation for us to live the Beatitudes. This is an invitation for us to live what we are reading. So friends, the exercise now will be for us to write down 3 moments that this problem is requiring you to be patient, either with a person or with God, I would say, like with the situation itself. I'll give you a minute for you to write down. All right. So this is number 2. Number 1, gratitude, positive attitude towards our situation. Second, be patient. Everybody is in the road of progress. We are all hand to hand. Some are more awakened, others are less. And our work is to grab the hands of those who are not so awakened, so then we can walk together. Number 3, persistence. So persistence, because it is by experience that we learn. And every situation is different. Every day you will know a little bit more than you knew yesterday. Every day you will master a little bit more about how to control your emotions. Hopefully a little bit better than yesterday. Jesus is not asking us for us to be perfect. Everything takes your time. Everything takes your time. And so does we. So do we. We also take our time for us to perfect. But there is one thing. Persistent doesn't mean for us to do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect a different result. Persistence is for us to learn with what happened in the past and then change, and then look for different means of achieving our goal. But then, of course, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do everything alone. Because if the lessons keep coming back for us in different ways, then we are still not understanding the root cause of that lesson. And we are again invited to think about the same situation in a different perspective. We should always remember that we are co-creator. And if there is something coming back, there is something that we must go through. But we don't have to do that alone. So if it is difficult for us to understand the situation, we must look for assistance. We know that we are never alone. We know that we are never alone. Every time we have someone helping us in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. But of course, that the assistance that we receive correspond to the assistance that we offer. This is from chapter 23 of the book Thought and Life. And it's not because we are being punished. If you don't help, then you're not going to be helped. But have you ever heard about something about, like, if you're not seen, you're not remembered, something like that? I think I learned that in the marketing school. The thing is, if you are never open to help, who is going to be open to help you? Or people are trying to help you every time. Even the mentors, they come and try to help. And then we say, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Or, that's not for me. I'm too old to change that. Let God decide about that. Let God decide if we are old enough or young enough. We do what we have to do. And then if we really believe, this goes back to the unconditional trust that we have in God. This is faith. This is faith. When we believe that we are in the right path. But then again, if we are not being able to achieve that, we should reflect. We should look for assistance. Am I being realistic with what I'm looking for? Am I being prideful? Because sometimes it is a gift that we are not being able to achieve whatever we are looking for. Because we are looking for something that is going to do good only for us. Whereas let us remember the goal at the beginning, to have a productive, happy life, is to help not only us, but also the others. Then in the chapter, Blessed are the afflicted. Again, we are reminded how many of us ruin themselves for lack of discipline, for wrong conduct, victims of their own imprudence, pride, and ambition. So the invitation here is for us to think about, what are we doing in terms of, are we persisting in the wrongdoing, or are we be able to reflect, understand what we have to change, and then do the change? So the exercise now will be, write down 3 different assistants that you can ask to improve the situation. And you can ask for the assistance of God. So mentors can be one assistance, one of your assistants, but also look for whoever else in your surroundings can assist you. And if you think that you have no one that can help you because you are not even being able to go through this exercise, remember that there is the fraternal counseling. The fraternal counseling is also here to help you to clarify your mind to your own life. So I'll give you a minute for you to think 3 different assistants that you can ask for. All right. Number 1, gratitude. Number 2, patience. Number 3, persistence. Number 4, compassion. Friends, this is the golden rule, right? Do unto men what you wish them to do unto you. How many times don't we lose our patience because we are not feeling the pain of the other person? We are feeling our pain really well, but we are really not putting ourselves into the shoes of the other person. So we do not know. Again, we are always in the same road. We are evolving all together, hand by hand. While I am doing good in one thing, my friend is doing good in the other. So if for any instance I offend someone, I ask for forgiveness. If someone offends me, I forgive the other person. God is so merciful that we incarnate forgetting what we did in the past, right? So even if we feel like we are all good now, as I'm again, we are not killing anyone, we are doing the good as much as we can. We don't remember what we did in the past. So whatever person we are meeting in this life, we are meant to meet this person. We are meant to be in the situation that we are right now because we made a commitment that we were able to do better, that we were able to do unto others what we wish them to do unto us, even if that means only to accept. So being passionate is extremely important because then we can understand the pain of the other. And this helps us to elevate our sense of love. Tanya she always tells about the divine love. We have one understanding of love, right? And I believe that the more that we expand our conscience, the better we will understand about this love. So the better we will get closer to this divine love. And compassion is a beautiful way of doing that. So in Blessed are the merciful, we hear from a mentor, true charity is modest, simple, and non-judgmental. Non-judgmental. How quick are we to judge people? How quick are we to tell others that we are being charitable? How quick are we to point fingers on someone saying, hey, you're wrong. Do you know that? You're saying something is not true? Let me tell you. Let me tell you. We're not being modest. We're not being compassionate. Who are we to say, oh, you were doing good. I like what you're doing. Huh? No. So the exercise that we are going to do right now is think about 3 people that are involved with your problems somehow, direct or indirectly, and write down how do you want them to feel about you. Like, I would expect this person to feel good about me, to feel safe with me, to feel loved by me. So write down that. How do you want three persons? How do you want these 3 persons to feel about you? So we won't have time, but I will invite you to reflect if you are being able to create this environment for these 3 people that you wrote down. All right, number 1, gratitude. 2, patience. 3, persistence. 4, compassion. What is the 5th one? 5th step? Action. Action, friends. Nothing will, there are no miracles. Only Jesus did that in the past to remind us that he was the Son of God. But there is nothing is going to change if we don't do something. Again, we are co-creators with God. There is this much that God can do. He's going to send us the rope for us to grab. But if we don't grab, we are not going to learn. And that's the law of action and reaction. There is this much that God will do to us. And if, only if, we could see how much support we receive and how much support we neglect because we just wait. We wait for the right moment. We wait for the right word. We wait for the right day. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait anymore. Opportunity goes, but the postponed fight will always come back. Always. This was said by Emmanuel in the book Tools of Time. This is a book that is not translated in English. But he's also reminding us that we cannot lose time. There is no such pain as the one that we feel when you have this perception of like lost time. So let us not do that to ourselves. Let us understand how valuable is this incarnation. It's now. As I mentioned to you guys, let us God decide if we are too young or if we are too old to do whatever we want. Let us start now. And then in the chapter, blessed are the meek and the peace-loving, we hear it is not enough for lips to flow with milk and honey, because if the heart does not do the same, it is hypocrisy. So it's, if I come here and speak all these beautiful things, but then I turn to my husband and say, hey, you didn't clean the house, whatever. What am I doing? I'm not helping with anything, but the opposite. So it is crucial that we do something about what we learn. The responsibility that we carry when we are aware is even bigger. So the exercise that we are going to do, and we are going to hold this one for you to do after the service. If you can do like 1 minute, based on the previous reflections, which are the 3 things that you will do daily for you to overcome this problem? You know what? Let's do this now. And if you, we'll do this in 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, friends. The thing that I also would like to tell you is that everything that it takes for us to accomplish whatever we want is our willpower. In the question 909 of the Spirit's book, Allan Kardec asks, are an individual's own effort enough to vanquish his or her bad tendencies? And bad tendencies here, think about our primitive instincts. Yes, a very small effort is often all that it is needed. It is the will that is missing. It is quite astounding How few of you make any serious effort? So first, this is an invitation for us to really do the actions that we are thinking. And Joanna de Angelis in the book God a Happy Life said, God has endowed you with willpower. Willpower is very strong. If yours is weak, it is because of lack of exercise. All moral and organic functions require practice to readily obey mental commands. Again, our thoughts. Start training by correcting minor bad habits, gradually moving on to greater challenges. By disciplining your will, you will achieve your present existence's greatest goal. Again, productive, happy life. Should you fail at first, do not give up. Persistence, number 3. But again, we have to action. If we do not act, the gratitude will turn into pride, into vanity. But if we act, it will help us to get to be more humble. If we do not practice patience, we are just going to be silent and careless, which is not the point. The importance is for us to respect, to actively respect, and to resign to God, because we are meant to meet whoever is in our life. If we do not act on our persistence, we will just become stubborn, doing the same thing over and over again, getting anxious for the situation to be solved. Whereas if we act, we will find discipline, we will find faith to guide us. We will be able to get assistance for us to persist in the right way. If we do not act with our compassion, we will just be pity. We will just victimize either ourselves or the other. But if we really act compassionately, we will work, we will be charitable. So the invitation today, friends, is that we think about what is the goal of our life and how I can take those simple 5 steps for us to accomplish that. Understanding that action with a purpose, without a purpose, turns into stress because we just want to do everything all the time. However, if we have a clear goal, then we will have a productive, happy life. So my wish for us is that we can have peace in our heart and we can emanate this to the entire planet Earth. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Kiki. We feel a lot wiser. And we have a to-do list. We know what to do when we have a challenge. And that's so practical and that really helps. And
Yeah.
I loved, I'm sure.
That's my dog.
Bye. Oh, that's your dog. Yeah. Yeah, so I loved all the 5 different items. It's not too much, but perfect amount. And it's just like, as we wrote them down, we know what to do. Thank you so much. And patience on top of the list is, of course, amazing.
Right?
Yes, yes. Anyone have any thoughts and ideas?
Good morning. I think it's always good to have gratitude. I think whenever you have gratitude, it brings a better day to me. It's like you starting your day with love in your heart, saying thank you to God and thank you for my friends and thank you for prayer. It's just awesome to have that gratitude and to be reminded. Patience, I think, is one of those ones where you can never have enough time in putting into it, or even education about it, examples of showing how you're being patient, what happened to help push you to be even more patient. And sometimes embarrassment causes you to slow down and be more patient. You know, it humbles you. But I think that's the biggest one for me would be patient, but also continuously being persistent and being patient. And of course, always prayer. No matter what, it's always prayer. But anyway, and to me, that's action. Re-educating yourself and praying. Those things are action to me. Thanks, Kiki. Appreciate it.
And I wanted to add, Kiki, so your list of 5, what I also enjoyed is it's something we practice with others while we're suffering from whatever we're suffering, but also with ourselves. So it's a twofold road, right? So we need patience with ourselves, we need it with others. We need compassion with others and ourselves. And sometimes the very issue that we are dealing with is giving us exactly that, right? So and then we can, of course, always stretch further into those 5 virtues and practice. Yeah. So I wanted to say it's both ways. Thank you again.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I would like to share an experience that I just had that has to do everything with the lecture, of course. So first of all, Kiki, I really enjoy the ability to put into practice. So having this format of having us to, hey, let's do this exercise together really allowed me, I have my list here, I'll be working on it. I love lists, you may know that. And it really helps me to put, take out of my mind and put on the paper and say, hey, I have a plan. This is what I am committed to working on. So I guess to exemplify about being patient, and especially in my case, being patient with myself. So I'm rushing because I am at the grocery store with Ian. This is the first time I go grocery shop with Ian. Normally Jason, does all that kind of activities around the house, but I had to do it today, and you have to do what you have to do. And I thought it would be a good experience, which was. And I'm ready to check out. And of course there's a line behind me, and I'm, super quick, and I'm moving around, and I'm playing, I'm dancing, entertaining him while I am, packing my stuff, etc. And everything is going really well. At the time I went to check out, that I need to pay for it. She says, oh, we don't take credit cards. I'm like, no problems. I have a debit card. So I pulled the debit card, and I knew at that moment that I didn't remember my password, because I haven't gone grocery shopping for a very long time. I mean, for a year and a half, to be honest, a year and a half, because I haven't really left the house to do that kind of thing. So when she said, use your debit card, I inserted my debit card and asked for my password. At that moment, there was a 1-second panic. Then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't remember. I have no idea what those numbers are. I don't. And then I took a quick look. I look at the lady with the compassion eyes, like, please don't judge me. I just need 1 second. Give me 1 second. I look at the people behind me, and I'm like, okay, just be patient with me. This has never happened before. I will remember the numbers. And I'm thinking, I don't have any cash on me. I have credit cards, but one debit card that I cannot think of the number. So I said, please, God, please help me. I need a victory today. I really need this to work. And as I close my eyes, and this is like super quick, right? And then there was this message, check your phone, because I have a list of my passwords on my phone. And I quickly accessed my phone, and boom, those 4 numbers came to me super quick. And then I was like, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And then boom, enter the number, everything is happening. I'm still sweating, but I'm like, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your patience. I love everyone. It's that patience with myself. And I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to be on the top of things all the time. There's a lot going on here. And just kind of have that patience and that compassion towards yourself, so that piece, as Regina was saying, there's 2 folds, and Sunshine was saying 2 folds, the patience with others, which I I hope that I'm willing to work, that I've been working on it. But the patience with myself, it can be a little tricky for me, always expecting, because the bar is really high. So with that said, sorry, it took him longer than, but I thought it would be interesting to share with you because it just happened this morning. I'm like, Kiki, what's the number? I want to hear you. So there's a lot of things going on, and the patience with myself was the big piece for me to put into practice. So thank you.
That's so awesome. That's a perfect example. You're right. Because you do panic, right? And like,
Thank you.
what's that number? I totally been there. Oh my God. Good morning, Tanya.
Hey, so wonderful lessons, teachings, and open mind and open heart to really put ourselves to think. So what I wrote, took notes and everything, most depend on myself, mostly. And I said, oh my gosh, how can I get help from it? And Kiki said, God, the spiritual mentors. And I would ask for prayers. I would ask like Brazilian Healing, Brazilian Spiritual Healing Center with the Divine Light has prayers every day, 6 p.m. California time. So on Saturday, I think it's 11:30. So maybe we can make this goal, participate in the prayers. If you cannot be online, just stop from whatever we are and done and go to pray as a group together for that goal to reach what you need. Now, in my situation, Kiki said, I'll write down only two. And I said, wow, spiritual discipline, physical discipline. So did you see that the discipline for more than all the teachings, wonderful reminders that she has is depend on ourselves, no? And prayer action is for discipline is the best advised to us to really do. I don't know how many lifetimes I have to get. I don't know if I have to be asked to be born in India, my future life, or no China, please, no, nothing wrong. But maybe I need to input in myself every day. I haven't asked a lot. All those people who knows me knows that I ask for discipline. But you really put me to think a lot today. And as a therapist, and I would say, do therapy with yourself every day. Ask yourself, like Kiki said, be kind, love yourself, but try to push yourself as much as you can, because we have discipline for others, for our job, for our outside life, for everyday life that society asks us. But we are so tired of so many things, so stressed with so many things that we have to do. So by the time we have to do to ourselves, we are lazy, and we need to push ourselves. We really need to think about ourselves, how many life you want to lose with breaking down pattern, without breaking down patterns, personalities that we will be reincarnate. I don't want to reincarnate only for that. I want to resolve the most as I can about discipline and this lifetime. So Kiki was wonderful wonderful teachings, and I have just to watering the seeds now. Thank you so much, everybody.
Kiki, I wonder what happened to the 50 prayers, knee downs, and wouldn't that do the work? Are you telling me that I'm going to have to work for my own improvement? Oh, come on. Where are we? Yeah, I'm just joking
Yes,
aside.
my
I appreciate,
friend.
yeah, I appreciate the guidelines. It's really helpful. And as Tanya was saying, I think it would be helpful if we can have like a routine that we could establish for ourselves and build it up. Yes, it requires discipline, it requires commitment and persistency and all that. However, it's hard to let go those old ancient habits of somebody would do it for me. I don't have to do anything. So that's what I'm challenged with your presentation. Thank you. It was pretty good.
Thank you, friends. Thank you to the mentors. Sorry, Dave,
Yeah,
you would say something, friend.
Yeah, one combination of words that really I can grasp and use all the time is the observation of something new, which is intriguing, and somehow the tendency to no longer have discipline because the new is cool. A new thought, any observation from another person, that's cool. And failing to keep the discipline and focus on what's going on, it seems like there you slide down the part where the discipline allows you to fall down into pride or a self-centered state of mind. The result that was intended before the new came up, it's lost in lost in history. We're going to go chase after the new, and then pretty soon the disappointment and tendency to go back away from what was going to be achieved. That's history, and I really appreciate you bringing those points together about don't get trapped in the new, even a new thought or a new program, a bigger concept. I don't know if I can make it as clear as it seems to me, or maybe I don't have it so clear. I really like it. Thank you for all the wonderful help you've given.
Yes, thank you, Kiki. Is there anyone else wanting to add to this beautiful picture? All right, friends, then let us take a couple of minutes, I think 5 minutes, right? Or shall we make it 2, maybe 2 minutes?
Yeah,
Just 2 minutes break because we're running kind of a little bit later. So if you want to get your water for the spirits to magnetize it, like a glass of water or whatever you choose. And in the second part, we will have healing passes. So we're inviting you to find a comfortable place to have your water and to close your eyes and allow the healing doctors and spirits on high to work on you and through you. So we'll be right back. So let me see what time, what time is it? Okay, we'll reconvene, let's say at 11:20. Okay, that's an even number. We'll see you in a second.
But we also want to remind everybody to write the names of those who you want to have a healing in the chat so we can continue working on them tomorrow night. Be it yourself or someone you know that's in need.